Yo, what is going on, everyone? My name is Nick, or the Notorious Fantasy, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about my week number 11 trade targets for fantasy football in 2021. Inside today's video, I'm going to be going over 5 different players that I believe you guys should be looking to trade for right now before it is too late. But before we can get on into my trade targets for week number 11, I would like to ask, if you do end up enjoying today's video at any point, to please make sure to hit that subscribe button down below. And while you're down there, whether you are new to the channel or not, please make sure to hit that like button down below to help boost this video up the algorithm so that more beautiful people like yourself can see today's video. I'd also like to ask if you guys are on Twitter and would like to follow me on there to please do so at NotoriousFNTSY. So without further ado, let's get into my week number 11 trade targets. We begin with my number 1 trade target of the week, and that is DJ Moore, wide receiver of the Carolina Panthers. Now, DJ Moore was one of the best wide receivers in fantasy football early on in the season. I'll read off some stats. Week number 1, up against the Jets, the man had 6 receptions on 8 targets for 80 yards. Week number 2, up against the Saints, 8 receptions on 11 targets for 79 yards and a touchdown. Week number 3, up against the Texans, 8 receptions on 12 targets for 126 yards, no touchdown in that game. And then week number 4, up against the Cowboys, 8 receptions, 12 targets, 113 yards, and 2 touchdowns. It seemed like nothing was going to be able to stop DJ Moore. Robbie Anderson was there, but Robbie Anderson wasn't doing anything, and Sam Darnold was looking like he completely changed his career, going from the Jets to the Carolina Panthers, and everything seemed like they were going the way of DJ Moore, that everything was going to be great for the rest of the season, and that this was a guy that could potentially be the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy football. But after the first 4 weeks of the season, the guy hasn't scored a single touchdown since week number 4, and he has yet to eclipse over 100 yards since week number 4. DJ Moore has been a complete and utter unmitigated disaster since that week 4 game up against the Dallas Cowboys. Last week, up against the Arizona Cardinals, he had 4 receptions on 7 targets for just 24 yards. But I believe that things are going to change with Cam Newton under center for the team. I think that Cam Newton is going to bring a new spark to this offense, and I believe with a offense that is looking a lot better, then typically the wide receiver number 1 of the team is going to look a lot better. And we saw through the first 4 weeks of the season, that's when the Panthers were successful. That's when the Panthers were winning games. That's when the Panthers were looking like potentially they might have been one of the sneakiest teams in the NFL because of how good they looked. And then as of recently, like I said, they fell off the edge of the fucking earth. But right now, with Cam Newton under center, I really do believe things are going to change. So go ahead and trade for DJ Moore right now before it is too late. Next up, we move to DJ Moore's quarterback, and that is Cam Newton, quarterback of the Carolina Panthers. Now, last week, Cam Newton was very successful with the limited work that he was given. PJ Walker was the starting quarterback of the team last week, and that made complete sense because PJ Walker has been on the team all year. Obviously, Sam Darnold has been banged up. He's injured. They end up putting him on the IR, so now it was time for PJ Walker to be the guy. Then they end up bringing in Cam Newton, and it appears this week up against the Washington football team that Cam Newton is going to be the starting quarterback of the team. Last week, like I said, in that very limited work, he had 3 completions on 4 attempts for 8 yards and a passing touchdown. He also had 3 rushing attempts for 14 yards and a rushing touchdown. Now, I do not believe that he is going to be one of these quarterbacks that game in and game out just has insane stat totals like the old Cam Newton from back in the day, but I do believe that Cam Newton, he still's got gas left in the tank. Cam Newton still has that upside to have multiple top 5 weeks through the end of the season. And I believe right now is the cheapest price to get Cam Newton because the guy hasn't even played in a full fucking game yet. If someone picked up Cam Newton and maybe they already have another starting quarterback on their team that they're confident in, go ahead and reach out. Be like, hey, I want to go ahead and get Cam Newton because I genuinely believe that Cam Newton could be a top 10 quarterback for the rest of the season. And I think that Cam Newton, if he is able to rush the ball a lot more than he did in New England, could see a lot of success in terms of fantasy football in Carolina. Next up, we move to Michael Carter, running back of the New York Jumbo Jets. So in Michael Carter's rookie season, he has finally started to really catch on for the Jets. Early on in the season, it was a battle for him to become the number 1 running back on the team. They were just using so many backs for the Jets that it seemed like Michael Carter was just too buried down in the roster like Jon Snow in that Game of Thrones episode on the Battle of the Bastards, if you guys know what I'm talking about. where he had to escape out of there. And it seems like, honestly, he was never going to get out of there. Maybe we'd have to wait for year 2 for Michael Carter to finally escape this running back by committee hellhole. But recently, he ended up escaping, and he has looked very solid for the Jets. Last week, up against the Buffalo Bills, he had 16 rushes for 39 yards and a touchdown, as well as having 4 receptions on 6 targets for 43 yards. Even with the team pivoting from Magic Mike White to going to Joe Flacco, I do believe that Michael Carter is in the position for success going forward. I think that even without Mike White, when it eventually goes back to being Zach Wilson, that the team is going to look to heavily utilize Michael Carter and design plays to get the ball into his hands. I think that Michael Carter, while he's on the Jets, and while that is a tough pill to swallow, right? I have to start a running back on the Jets. I know that normally hurts to say, it hurts to do, but at the end of the day, you got to put that bias aside. The Jets might be a dumpster fire of a team right now at this point in the season, but hey, Michael Carter still has a lot of value, so go ahead and trade for him right now. But before we get on in to the next trade target, I would like to let you guys know that this video is being brought to you guys by Yahoo. We have partnered with Yahoo Fantasy this NFL season to bring you guys some great offers. Check out our exclusive limited time offer, which gets you guys 1 free month of Awesemo Plus Platinum. To qualify, you need to be new to Yahoo, sign up for an account via the link down below, deposit, and play. That is it. Yahoo will send us your name after you play in your first paid contest, and we'll reach out to you via email with your coupon. If you would like immediate access, that's okay as well. All you got to do is email support@awesemo.com. Again, support@awesemo.com, and we'll get you set up immediately. You can also claim a free $10 below, which can be used to enter any Yahoo contest. Make sure that you guys use our DFS tools and projections designed specifically for Yahoo to give you guys the best shot to win big on Yahoo. Please make sure that you guys check that out. The link is down below in the description. Next player to discuss as a trade target for the week is Mike Gesicki, tight end of the Miami Dolphins. Now, last week, I was very excited for Mike Gesicki going up against the Baltimore Ravens. I personally, I'm a Dolphins fan. I didn't think the Miami Dolphins were going to win that game. Obviously, they did. But I expected a heavy dose of Mike Gesicki. I thought, hey, if Jacoby Myers stinks, then they pull him out of the game. They put Tua in the game. It is what it is. He's been good with Tua, Mike Gesicki this is, and he's also been good with Jacoby Brissett. So it is what it is. Last week, he gets 7 targets. And, you know, if you didn't know what actually happened, you'd be like, oh, shit, 7 targets. That sounds great. The man had 0 receptions. He put up a goose egg in that game. Was that because he was playing bad and wasn't getting open? Not really. It was kind of because Tua and Jacoby Brissett were just not putting the ball anywhere near him. But at the end of the day, I think that is going to correct going forward. And I believe that Mike Gesicki has the upside to be a top 5 tight end due to volume. The wide receiver core in Miami is decimated. They are always hurt. Devontae Parker's on the IR. Will Fuller is nowhere to be found. The guy has played 2 games on the season. So there is clearly a very big role in the receiving game for the tight end, and Mike Gesicki fills that role perfectly. I believe that Mike Gesicki, like I said, does have top 5 tight end upside going forward, and I would definitely look to trade for him, especially if the manager who has Mike Gesicki is pissed off at the fact that he scored 0 fucking points last week. And final player to discuss as a trade target today is James Conner, running back of the Arizona Cardinals. Now, a lot of people might be a little bit nervous that, oh, when Chase Edmonds returns, now James Conner is going to go back into the dumps, right? That's not what's going to actually happen, obviously, but some people may think that because, oh, over the last 2 weeks, we've really seen James Conner perform. Is that because Chase Edmonds wasn't there? Yes and no. Because even when Chase Edmonds was there, when Chase Edmonds was healthy, James Conner is still the goal line back. James Conner is still going to be scoring touchdowns. Week number 9 up against the 49ers was his real big game. 21 rushes for 96 yards, 2 touchdowns in the rushing game. He also had 5 receptions for 77 yards and a touchdown. Last week up against the Carolina Panthers, 10 rushes for 39 yards and a touchdown, as well as 3 receptions for 25 yards. I think when Chase Edmonds returns, James Conner is going to be just fine. And right now, you're not buying him at that supreme price of, oh, he just absolutely demolished the San Francisco 49ers. He's coming off of an all-right game up against the Carolina Panthers. So go ahead, get him at this low price. And I think that even when Chase Edmonds returns, James Conner still has a lot of fantasy value and a lot of upside inside of the Arizona Cardinals offense. That's going to look a lot better once Kyler Murray is healthy. So thank you guys all so much for watching today's video. Let me know down below in the comment section who your guys' top trade targets of the week are. If you did end up enjoying, please make sure to hit that like button as well. Make sure you guys do check out Yahoo Fantasy. Link down below in the description. I love you guys all so much. I hope you have a great rest of your guys' day. And as always, good boy.